didn't have to talk for 3 weeks. Good to hear.
Yeah.
All right, so back into to my questions. How did you begin collecting? What was the first thing that bit you to collect?
Actually, it was my dad. He's the one who started this big mess. uh, my dad, on my 5th birthday, he took me to the nearest hobby shop. And at that time, Hot Wheels didn't even come out yet. And so they had Matchbox cars. And my dad said, you're 5 years old, you can pick out 5 cars. And these are the 5 cars that I picked out. Yeah, these are still the original ones that I have. And those were the Jaguar, the Lincoln Continental, the Volkswagen, this is another Jaguar. So those were the first original cars that started me on collecting. And then when I got older, then I started collecting Hot Wheels. But as for collecting autographs, now that happened like in 1990.
Oh.
And they had a show in Chicago called HeroCon. And it was the first time they were going to have Batman, Adam West, and Van Williams, who was the Green Hornet, and about 10 other celebrities were going to be there. And yeah, it was only going to be $15. So
what?
I went, yeah, $15
per person, or the whole group?
No, just for getting in the door. You didn't have to pay for autographs. You just got in the door and you could meet all these celebrities. It was one of the first celebrity autograph sessions that they had out. And so here I took the Corgi 1/32 scale. And at the time, I wasn't taking pictures with a 33 millimeter camera. I was actually taking pictures with a Polaroid camera. So I took pictures of them autographing it. And then I'd also have them sign the Polaroid picture too. So it worked out great. They all signed in white. And once I got those 2 cars, I was hooked. I thought, this is the greatest thing ever. You can't get better than this, than getting your toys signed and then getting a picture of them autographing it.
Oh my gosh!
And then,
and you know how much that would be worth today? Those would be worth at least I don't know a lot. I mean, I think they were at least doing $150 a signature before they passed away. So those
exactly.
Those are worth a lot of money.
Well, thank you. That's nice to hear.
Fred has that. Fred, that is your retirement right there.
You know what? This whole collection, this whole experience, and taking the pictures of every autograph, I just like collecting.
Yeah.
But it was always an investment for me, anyhow. But I figured, since I like collecting anyhow, that's why I took all the pictures every time someone gave me an autograph. But the funny thing is, I thought everybody was doing that. I thought it was just natural. I thought it was common sense that if you got an autograph, you took a picture of it for proof.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? That's not true. I went to a stick and ball sports show, and they had Jerry Rice signing autographs for $100 a pop. For $100, they were selling his autograph, and I waited in line. I didn't buy his autograph. I was watching the line as it proceeded, and there had to be at least 100, 200 people there getting his autograph, and not one of those people that were in line getting his autograph took a picture of him autographing it. I'm like, I can't believe this. And then I went around to the show, and there was a lot of people selling autographs, but not one of them had a picture of it. They usually go by COAs, a certificate of authenticity.
Yep.
And I couldn't believe it. And that's when I realized I was on the right track. Is that I know, because if no one's doing it, then, and I'm the only one doing it, because even with all, I used to go to the speedways and get all these autographs.
Yeah.
And other people were getting autographs, and no one else was doing it. So it was, and then this car right here was the start of doing that. Was they had a autograph show that was in Rockford, and they had 4 drivers there, 4 of the legends. One was Richard Petty, and so I went there and I got Richard Petty's autograph on the car, and that was the start of all this autograph. I mean, of all the NASCAR autographs. Yeah, because what happened was, after I got that autograph, I decided to go to the Milwaukee Mile Speedway. And the first year I went there, I think it was 1994, and I realized that you could get an autograph, you could get a pit pass that lasted 3 days. It cost $50.
Oh wow!
And for that yeah, I know. For that $50, it was good for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which was on an off weekend of the Winston Cup. So, turn around. So these guys, since it was on an off weekend, these major legends would be at that racetrack. Anywhere between 8 to 14 of these Winston Cup legends would go to that racetrack and race in the Busch race or race in the truck race. And then another thing I found out was that pit pass, which only cost $50, wasn't just a pit pass. It was actually a garage pass. And you were actually allowed in the garage. So you not only just watched them, you could meet them and shake their hands and talk to them or whatever. So when I found that out, I would carry this big bag that I had, and I would find out exactly who was going to be there. And then I would just buy all their stuff all that year, and I would show up at the racetrack with a whole carload of stuff. And then I would fill up that bag with every driver that was going to be there. And then I would just walk up and down the pits, and I would get their autographs until half that bag was finished. And then I'd go back to the car, I would empty it out, and then fill it up again. And that was the start of this. When I would ask for an autograph, I would ask like for 4 autographs. One with a big card, one with a 1/18 scale, one with a 1/24 scale, maybe a magazine, maybe a blister pack. So I'd get 4 autographs, I'd get 1 picture with them, and then I'd go on to the next driver. So it was nonstop. I would, after the end of a 3-day weekend, I would end up with about anywhere between 250 to 350 autographs. I was taking these pictures with 33 millimeter camera.
Yeah.
So I would end up with about like 35 rolls of film that I would have to develop. And then what I do is I would cut, after I got the pictures back, I would separate them and then cut the negative and tape the negative to the back of the picture. So for each autograph, if anyone was to buy from me, you would not just get the car. You would get the car, the autograph, the picture, and the negative. So that's how I ended up with over 5,000 autographs. It's that went on till just recently.
Do they not do the pit thing anymore?
No, that's it. They quit the races at Milwaukee, and so now they have other speedways that do it. But guess what? You can't buy a pit pass, a 3-day pit pass for $50 anymore. Now it's like $250.
Yeah.
And then also, you can't even meet these guys directly. I mean, you go in the pits, and what happens is they have like a window to their garage, mm-hmm. and it's just like a cashier's. You put the item in there, and they take it, and then they screen it like that. And which I don't understand how you would be able to take a picture of them autographing anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah, so yeah, that's the experience they have now, and so I don't go anymore
Yeah.
because the prices are like 5 times more, and your experience is is way less than it used to be. So
Yeah.
it's
You were there during the magical time to
well,
get all that stuff done.
well, that's why I did what I did, because when I first seen it, I realized this is not going to last forever, and I'm going to take full advantage of it right now. And actually, I know. Well, the thing is, I thought it was going to close down right away, and actually, it didn't close down for 15 years. And so, like every year, it was the same. In fact, some years I was kind of hoping. In fact, one year I heard that they weren't going to open, and finally, I sat back and I went, "Oh, well, that was a good run. Thank God that's over with. Maybe I can sit back and finally enjoy the race." And then all of a sudden, someone come running to me and say, they opened up, and boom, I ran into my car, got my stuff, and then I went back to work again. In fact, I worked hard. I worked so hard at this, it was harder than actually my real job. I mean, sometimes I'm out there with 95-degree weather, walking up and down the pit, and I don't know. I don't even know how I did it.
Oh my
I'm
God.
surprised I didn't faint a couple of times.
Were you able to watch the actual race at any point?
Well, actually, I did. But what I would do is when only when the race started, because you knew you couldn't get an autograph because all the drivers were out there,
There you
and and so I would park my car in the infield, which that only cost $10 a day. So for those 3 days, I would park my car in the infield, and I had to be the first one in to get a good spot, and then when the race started, I would go to my car and sit on top of I had a Jeep at the time. I'd sit on top of my Jeep and I would watch the whole race. But
That's fantastic. So, what is your most prized possession in that room?
well, the most prized. Uh, oh,